Hey everybody, Zach here from Mythos Pedals, and today I'm super excited to announce a pedal you all saw coming, the Envy. The Envy Pro Overdrive NV9 is what we're playfully calling this thing, is an homage to my favorite overdrive of all time, the Ibanez Tube Screamer. Now, if you don't know, I'm slightly screamer obsessed. Here, let me show you. So as you can see, I have quite the collection. And part of the reason for that is because I just love this pedal. I love the history of it, but more importantly, I like the sound of it. I think that it was one of the first overdrives that truly connected with me as a player. I like running it in the traditional Texas way into a cleanish Fender style amp with a Stratocaster, but I also really like it into a crank amp, pushing leads, really cutting through a mix. I always found a place for it in the music I was making, and I feel that some of the people that don't like it or don't get it are kind of missing out, and I'm hoping to remedy that with the Mythos Envy. So this is a why I made this video, and just like every other why I made this video, it has a couple parts. Why I made it, what's the sound, who's it for, and are there any caveats? So why did I make this? Why did I make the Envy? Well, a while ago I started collecting screamers, and it became very obvious to me that I need to do a proper tube screamer style circuit. Now, I've done it in the past. The original Herculean was pretty much something very similar to this, but I got kind of bored doing the same old thing and wanted to move away from it with that circuit and that name. But as time has led on, I find that I keep going back to those green boxes, and I wanted to put my spin on it and give something to you guys maybe you haven't seen, or if you have, maybe you'll give it a chance because you know that I've gone through this thing with a microscope. So, what's the sound of the Envy? The Envy at its core is that iconic 808 style overdrive sound, but with a lot of mods. The mods that I learned when I was cutting my teeth building knowledge about guitar pedals. I started doing modifications, and I've modded countless tube screamers over the years. So all of that has been poured into this unit. The drive control has an extended range, so you can get a little bit less and quite a bit more gain out of it. It has a better taper and a little bit more output on the level control. The tone circuit is pretty much that classic TS style circuit with a little bit of a bump in the low end. But the cool thing about the Envy, and the thing I like most about it, is not only do you have the three controls, instead of doing traditional toggle switches, I wanted to do push buttons. So on the face of it, we have a lows button and a clip button. So when these are up, it's a stock-ish style TS voicing. When you push them down, that's when you engage the modification. So when the lows is down, you really beef up that low end. And that also shapes how it clips, it shapes the mid-range, it makes it a little more even and fuller. It still has some mid-range cut, but it's just a lot fatter in the low end, and you really hear it when you get the drive pushed. The clip switch allows you to have that classic symmetrical soft clipping when it's up, but when you push it down, it removes the diodes. Now, I've done countless mods where I've used different sort of diodes, different configurations, and I always tend to come back to having no diodes. And what that does is it allows you to have just the op amp doing all of the breaking up. You're not clipping any of the signal after the fact, you're just getting the breakup from the chip itself. Now, speaking of the chip, inside is an RC4558P through-hole chip on a socket. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do that is because if you're anything like me and you get obsessed with these sort of things, maybe you'll want to take the back off of this and swap out chips to see what works best for you. On our website, we're going to break down some of the common chips that you can use so you can buy them and experiment. For the most part, I don't find that chips have a drastic influence on the sound, but there are subtleties that are there, and if you want to experiment, you're able to do that with the Mythos Envy. That's a little gift to you guys if you're into that sort of thing. Now, who is this for? In my opinion, this style circuit is a necessity for anyone's guitar arsenal. I think that what it does in a very known sense of pushing a black panel amp with a single coil is just fantastic, and you really can't get that sound any other way. Using this just gets you there instantly, and I love that. But also, I love hitting a pushed amp with humbuckers, using this as more of a boost, and I really enjoy that sort of thing. Don't think of this as only an overdrive. Pull that drive knob down, crank the level, push that tone up, and you get a really nice booster that is really useful and not just a one-trick pony. And especially having these switches, it really lets you experiment. So my hope is this pedal's for everybody, but I know that's not true, and I know not everyone is going to latch on to the circuit. That's okay. I can accept that. Now, any caveats? Well, you might not like the voicing of it. There's not a huge selection of tone options with the switches, but I wanted to keep it limited so that you have a really concise and fast way to get tones that are useful. There's not a lot of fluff. There's not a lot of extra stuff that you won't use, and I think that's important. But you might want that. You might want infinite flexibility, and that really isn't what Mythos does, and that's okay. But if you're into those classic things, or you've always wanted to try one of these little green overdrives, I think the Envy is the one to check out. So go to mythospedals.com, read all about what this pedal does, check out some of the settings, and after this, check out my little run through where I twist the knobs. You can kind of hear what everything does. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. See ya. Thank you.